Hello, Weekend Crafter. This is Ange. Welcome back to the Craft Time Studio for your weekend dose of crafting. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I love colors. But for some people, they're actually happier wearing basic colors because it's easier to pair with just about anything, which is why basic colors sell well on pop-ups and other events. So for this tutorial, I wanted to focus on everything black and white and the different designs that you can make from basic to slightly complicated. As I will be showing you how to make simple canes, I recommend in this tutorial to use firmer clay like Sculpey Primo, or as some would recommend, you can also try to put your clay in the refrigerator just to get them to be a little bit more firm. For this tutorial, I will use primarily Frost White Glitter and Twinkle Twinkle Black Glitter, both Sculpey Primo colors. Before you begin, let me just remind you to keep your mat clean by spraying it with alcohol and wiping it down carefully, especially because we're working with a lot of white. Now that we have a clean surface, let's make a basic black and white earring. You will need a flower cutter and a tear-shaped cutter. You will also need a detail needle and a tissue blade. First, let's condition our white clay. I think because of the glitter, frost white can be a little bit grainy. So to improve the texture, I add a similar amount of pearl white clay. Once these two colors are fully conditioned, I roll out the white clay into the number 3 setting. Use the flower cutter to punch a flower shape. Then, get the tear-shaped cutter and cut each side of the flower shape, leaving only 2 petals. Repeat these steps to make a pair. Next, condition the black clay. Once it is fully conditioned, roll it out into the number 3 setting. Get the tear-shaped cutter and cut each side of the flower shape, leaving 3 petals. Now, get the tear-shaped cutter again and use the pointy end to punch a small triangle on each of the petals. Do this for both black flowers. If this technique looks familiar, it's because I also used a similar one in last week's tutorial. Get your detail needle and put the veins on the white petals. Get your hole puncher and punch one hole on the top part and another one between the 2 petals. Punch a hole on the top portion of each of the black petals as well. You can also add some texture using a detail needle. Use the tissue blade to transfer the pieces into your baking mat to avoid distortion. And that is it for the first pair of black and white earrings. Super simple to make, but sometimes you'll be surprised because people actually appreciate simple but classy designs. For the second pair, I want to do a very simple cane. First, get a square-shaped plate that goes into your extruder. Get some black clay and place them inside the extruder. Get some black clay and place them in the extruder and crank it out. Set this aside and then get your white clay and roll it out into the number 7 setting. As I want to cover 3 sides of the square, I lay it on the white clay and cut it to size using the tissue blade. I repeat this 3 more times. And then, to make sure that the strips stick to the square block, I press it down with the flat side of the blade. Although you can't really see it on the video, I kind of flatten it into a trapezoid, with one side just a little bit smaller than the other. Now, we have a very simple black and white cane. I cut the cane into 3 parts and lay it out with an alternating pattern. And then, I press the 3 pieces down to make them into one cane. Now, I get some black clay as my base for the slab. I roll it out into the number 4 setting because I know that it will still put another layer on top of it. I cut into my cane and then place the repeating pattern on the slab. The resulting pattern should look like a honeycomb. Or, if you don't want to follow my pattern, you can also customize your own pattern and make it into an abstract piece. You can roll it out or leave it as it is and use this slab to make dangling earrings or studs. And for the final slab, we will do a slightly more complicated cane. First, get a circle-shaped plate to use with an extruder. Place the white clay inside and remember that this clay should be conditioned properly. Otherwise, it will come out of the extruder cracked. Get the black clay and flatten it into the number 7 setting. Next, we will attempt to wrap the white log with the thin black clay. Remember to cut off the excess black clay and just cut enough to cover the white log. Carefully wrap the white log and roll it out. Next, get the plate with a triangle shape. Place white clay inside the extruder and crank it out slowly. Next, neaten both ends of the log. Then, get the black clay and cut it to the size of the log. Lay down the base of the triangle and cut. Wrap each side of the triangle with the black clay. Repeat this until you've covered the 6 triangles. Assemble 3 triangles on one side of the log on the other side. Once you've assembled all 6 triangles, you should end up with a rectangular cane. Get more black clay and roll it out into the number 7 setting. Finally, wrap the log. If you've noticed along the way, I keep on wiping my mat. I am very conscious that I'm using white and black clay, but I really don't want the white to have unintentional black streaks. So, you really just need to be very careful. Finally, roll out your main slab into the number 4 setting. Get your cane and using the flat side of the blade, press on the cane, rotating each side to make sure that you press on it evenly to avoid distortion. Use a tissue blade to make thin cuts. Roll this out carefully before finally cutting into it. Then, as I often do, I place holes before baking and lift my pieces with a clay blade. I think of the 3 because this is my favorite. Quite complicated, but it really is quite a simple cane. Comment down below which design is your favorite, the second or this last one. Also comment down below if you're a fan of black and white. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you haven't yet, do consider liking and subscribing to the Crafty Craft Time Studio. Have a crafty weekend. Bye!